If you follow fighting game content on YouTube, then you're probably familiar with this video. The video is called "Fighting Games Are Boring, so I made one that makes you feel like a god," and it's by a YouTuber named Jabrils. He does a lot of game development content where he's designing and building the games themselves, so I thought this would be a really fun video to look at. So today I wanted to have a real quick look at this video and see if we can use it to spark a discussion about the spectator appeal of fighting games and how developers could possibly design their games to be more appealing to people to not only play, but also to watch as well. This is a new type of video for me, so if you like what you see here, be sure to not only leave a like, but also leave a comment below for any sort of feedback or ways that we could improve this video in the future. So without further delay, let's begin.
I want you to look at this chessboard. To the average chess player, white is getting absolutely destroyed right now. Black is currently up by a total of 6 points. And to make...
You know, just to look at this position real quick, it's I've actually been learning chess myself actually, so it's kind of cool that he's actually doing this example. Yeah, this is a... You see, I was thinking that this was like a reasonable position for white. This is very clearly proof that I'm like not paying attention.
But you see, there's a funny thing about chess. Chess, in my opinion, is basically mental boxing. Why? Well, because anything can happen in a split second, making the points completely useless. And what Black didn't know is that his points actually were completely useless. And white was actually just one move away from winning the game. Do you see the winning move? Pause the video and try and find it.
Okay, so now he's really challenging me. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I'm pretty sure it's bishop e to a6. I'm pretty sure that's it. Because then you put the opponent in check. They can't move along this diagonal or this diagonal, so then they're just stuck. I'm pretty sure that's actually the main and one from this situation.
All right, here it comes. Mwah, delicious.
Booyah! Yes!
Chess is very boring to watch, especially if it's live. It's my personal belief that with a good chess commentator, some chess replays can be really exciting, but in no universe do I see a chess exhibition packing out a sold-out MGM arena.
That is something that I do feel very, very strongly whenever it comes to chess. I've tried to get into chess and like watch like multiple different creators, and even just like watching like some of like the best of the best at the game, it's still not that really entertaining to kind of watch, because you just feel so overwhelmed by like all like the technique and theory. And like if you're new to chess and you're trying to get into watching like chess streams or chess videos, you're really depending on like not only just like the ease of understanding of the content itself, but really on like the creator's ability to kind of entertain you and keep you motivated. That's one of the reasons why I really enjoy watching Gotham Chess. You guys should go check out Gotham Chess.
This video is brought to you by Raid Shadow
Oh my
Legends.
god!
Alright guys, by this point you already know the deal. Raid
Why
has
is everyone
champions,
sponsored
Raid has
by
bosses, Raid has regular updates, Raid is unstoppable.
Why is everyone sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends? Oh my god. You should have seen me whenever I was looking at like I think it's like Stream Elements OBS. It's like, hey, we have a brand new sponsorship for you guys to go ahead and check out. And I'm like, oh sweet, what's the sponsorship? And I look, it's like Raid Shadow Legends, and I'm like,
Produce actions over and over and over. Because with that, players will have the ability to become skillful at the game. And so
I can understand his general mindset as far as like having a fighting game with like kind of opening sequences, kind of like chess. If you're gonna go for like the turn-based approach, I think having like opening sequences is kind of like a good way to go. Learning openings kind of gives you like an easier like jumping off point to kind of get started and start to learn the basics and whatnot. And in fighting games, you kind of get that by understanding which buttons you can press in neutral. So if you and your opponent are at like round start, then you'll have to learn, oh, will this button reach? Will this button be fast enough to be their option at round start? And you kind of get those interplay experiences between fighting games and chess in that regard, where you have opening moves that are good to start you off in chess, and then there are opening moves that you can pretty much start off with in fighting games as well. So there's a little bit of crossover in that regard.
In chess, if you want to move your knight to d7, you shouldn't need a card to dictate that. But this is just what I wrote down when I first hatched up the idea, and only have about a week to make this prototype. It's basically my own self-imposed game jam.
Okay, so that sort of like fighting game element with cards kind of reminds me of Card Jitsu from Club Penguin, which I've been really thinking about a lot recently. It's basically like a rock, paper, scissors card game. Basically, the way how you win in Card Jitsu is that you have to win either once with each element, or you win, I think, 3 times with the same element. I think that's how the win structure worked. It's been forever since I played Card Jitsu. Club Penguin got shut down a long time ago. Disney, bring back Club Penguin.
The janky prototype. Following that success, I moved ahead with finalizing some art, because unlike my old incorrect beliefs, I learned that art is undoubtedly the most important aspect to game dev, because the general audience is shallow.
The general audience is shallow. You know what? There's no game I would ever agree with that more. Not only the first game that came to mind, which was King of Fighters 14, which did not look really good on release, but also Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. That was... Oof. Both of those games were just oof.
Feedback. Again, the idea here with the pausing is that you get to assess the battle based on its current state and make an appropriate decision to try and best your opponent. You know, a lot like chess.
Okay, this system looks pretty cool and all. One of the things that like really builds up the tension as far as like competitive fighting games goes is that it's all in real time. So you have to make those decisions that you have to make them like right in the moment, which is what makes like high level just so interesting, because people are just making these like really insane like reads and call outs just like back to back to back to back to back, and it's just like insane for anyone to like think at that like speed or at that kind of level. And while you still can be impressed with the moves that someone makes at a turn-based level, I feel like as far as like fighting games goes, like that's like the real draw, like the real-time effect of it. But well, again, I'm curious to see where he's going with this, because I'm liking the direction that this is going so far.
The characters just straight up teleport, and yo, I cannot begin to tell you how hard this problem completely broke me. I legit had thoughts of just giving up coding completely and becoming like a beekeeper or something like that. At least when the bugs from that job gives me problems, I'll at least get some free honey out of it. But after a good night's sleep and a brief change of pace, the perfect solution came to me. Here it is. Because I'm already sampling from a graph that's over time, I then start to work on the collision boxes. You just apply hitboxes to the hands, feet, and knees, apply collision boxes to the body and head, and then when an opponent's hitbox collides with a collision box, just register some damage. Easy. I mean, it's not the best solution, but it came to my mind the quickest and it was good enough. Check this out. Alright, let's see here.
That is actually how like MK and I think Tekken as well handled how they place the hitboxes on their 3D models. So you just like, they're like super definitive around to where exactly their limbs and stuff are placed and whatnot. So yeah, this is really cool. I'm really liking this. I'm really liking this.
It was time for the star of the show, the replay feature. Now, in theory, this is really easy to implement. Because our fighting system is based on a deterministic timeline, we should be able to store a timeline of moves performed, and then instead of asking for your input, we just read from the replay file instead. But I mean, look guys, you've been watching this video. If there's anything to take away, you should know the day that programming goes your way the first try, you better go buy a lottery ticket.
That is like actual facts. As someone who is actually working in the software industry himself, that is actual facts. There are no lies coming from this man.
All the hard stuff was done, so I exported the game to try out an official build.
Okay.
And whoa, what the hell is this?
Uh-oh.
Oh my fucking god. Where are the animations? Why?
Oh no.
Okay. Alright. I was planning on making like a whole deck, and you can build decks and all that stuff, but ran out of time, so you can only select out of 1 to 13 actions represented as cards here, each of which have their own amount of loading turns, action turns, and cooldown turns. So
the whole system of like building a deck in like your own fighting style and whatnot, that reminds me of Absolver. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this. I think it's like some like, it was an indie like fighting game RPG sort of thing where you just kind of like roam the world and like built and cultivated your own fighting style and whatnot. It was actually really cool. I actually have a hang on, let me see if I can find this. I just found it a while ago as I was taking care of like. Yeah, here it is. I actually own a collector's edition with like the mask, like one of the masks that you wear in game. Like this game was actually kind of sick, but I kind of wish like they did more with it. But yeah, you basically just kind of like roamed around and just slowly went around like building your own like fighting style with like unique moves and whatnot. And you could like PvP against people, and it was actually kind of sick. And that's kind of what this card system kind of reminds me of. I would kind of like to see. I hope that he can like make time to go back to this game at some point, because if he could like fully flesh this out, that would be pretty sick. I would love to play that on stream at some point. But yeah, this looks really cool. I'm liking this. This game looks kind of sick.
What is the timing of this? I don't understand.
You only choose when it pauses.
Ah, yeah, I'm winning.
Nice.
Wow, so really the distance matters.
Oh yeah. Oh, good shit. Oh, you hit him. Oh.
I'm just now realizing something. The life bars drain away from the center. They drain away from the center. Oh my god. Ronnie from Digressing and Sidequesting would be so upset. He'd be very, very sad. But I guess since there's no like timer in the center, so I guess it's okay. But I'm just like, that's the thing I just noticed. The life bars need to drain to the center. The reason why you traditionally want the life bars to drain towards the center is that as your life bar gets like smaller and smaller and smaller towards like the amount of health that you have left, your eyes are slowly being brought not only towards the center, but it's also being brought towards where the timer is. The timer is usually placed in between both health bars, so you can kind of so your eyes have to travel like less of a distance as like the match prolongs. That's like a simple UI critique. It's a thing that can be fixed. There's just health bars here. There's no like specific time restraints because this game's not being run in real time, and really it doesn't even matter so much that the health bars drain away, because the game pauses in between moves so that we can decide what you want to do next. So in reality, it doesn't really matter that much, but it's just like, it's a nice kind of quality of life thing for veteran fighting game players, because it'll be something that they're used to visually. Just, just kind of helps in that regard. But other than that, it's a simple thing. It can be fixed.
Yeah, if it was less buggy, I like it. I like the concept.
Wow. She actually said it was fun. She never says my games are fun.
Yeah, I suppose that the card system does seem like fairly complex, and also if there's a little bit more organization to like where all the cards are kind of placed next to each other. So yeah, so I felt like if maybe the cards were sorted out by color or whatnot, so that way it's kind of like a little bit easier to kind of like, I don't know, make sense of all the options that you have and what's kind of going on. But other than that, again, just simple UI tweaks, simple UI, UX in that case, kind of simple quality of life experiences that could make things a little bit better.
Like, yo, it's a finished game. I mean, sure, it's a prototype, but who cares? I actually finished something.
So overall, I really like the concept that he has in mind. I do think that making it a turn-based game makes it a little bit more easier for people to kind of like not only grasp what's going on moment to moment, but it also makes it easier for new players to jump in as well. Really, any heavy execution requirements, no core circles, no DP motions, no pretzel inputs, sadly. But the card system is pretty unique. I think it's very distinct. It's obviously could use a little bit more fine-tuning and refining and whatnot, but I think it's a pretty good approach to make a more accessible fighting game. I don't think like the core point of it is that fighting games are quote unquote boring, but I think it's more so just that fighting games aren't as, I guess, straightforward. There's a lot of like complex elements whenever it comes to learning a fighting game in terms of like understanding the motions, the inputs, how combo systems work, etc., etc. I can understand that people that are like new to like the way how fighting game attack systems work, where you have like buttons tied out to like sometimes each limb or different strengths of punches and kicks. I can understand why that wouldn't really appeal too much to some new people, because it doesn't really seem like that those buttons by themselves have like any sort of weight or impact or really like flashy in any regard. But I think one thing that these cards do really well at is like the card system is designed in a way so it makes like the moves like pretty like aesthetically appealing. It makes it clear which attack does what, because if you're a new fighting game player, it'll take you a little bit to realize, okay, I want to do X move, but you won't consciously recognize at first which button does X move, so it takes a little bit for you to kind of get used to it. And I think it's kind of good that the strength of a particular move or like the better moves are given like a higher weight within the card system, so it takes a little bit more time for those cards to cool down and for you to get them back again. So I think it's a good alternative to the traditional special move input system to get like greater and more damaging moves. So I think that's pretty cool. Overall, I think this game looks pretty sick. I would love to actually try this out myself at some point. Maybe sometime after this video comes out. If you guys want me to go ahead and check out this game, whether you want me to do it on YouTube or if you want me to just like stream it, I'd be down to do both. Just let me know in the comments below. I think that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you like what you saw today, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below to go ahead and show your support for the channel. I also want to give a shout out to Jabrils for this very entertaining video. If you guys want to check out his other game development content here on YouTube, be sure to go ahead and check out the link to his channel, which I will include in the description as well. That's all I got for you guys today. So thank you again for watching. I have been ShaolinPretzels, and as always, stay salty.